Hey, this is Brian with worshiptutorials.com. This is a tutorial for the song Here Now Madness by Hillsong United from the Empires album. Now, I feel like I should talk a little bit about this before I teach the song. If you've listened to the album, you might recognize the fact that it's a little different than most sort of modern contemporary worship stuff. It's very much more synth based. A lot of the songs feel really laid back, but sort of have this intensity build. When I listened through the album, I kind of caught that as a theme throughout all the songs. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And this one is no different. It starts off really slow. There's not a lot of acoustic instruments in it until you get to the chorus when it's almost only acoustic guitar. We'll talk about that. But you can do this one on acoustic. And if you head over to worshiptutorials.com, there's a link below. You can get the chord charts for this song in multiple keys, which will work for a male or a female lead. And you can see how I played it on acoustic, just acoustic guitar, and the chords sort of follow along in the video with me. But this is in the key of D, same key as the album key. It's not very high, so it should fit most male vocalists. And I think it's intentionally not high. So the vocalist on this album has a very high range, but he doesn't go up that high in this song. And they just sort of build it with all these different layers of instrumentation. It's hard to do that live, so you might have to find your own way through this one if you do it live. But I'll teach you the basics of the chord progressions and how you can play it on acoustic guitar. So tempo-wise, this is another odd one for this song. It starts at 63 BPM, and I think around the second verse, the tempo steadily increases till toward the end of the song, and it ends up at 69. So it just goes faster and faster, which also helps build that intensity. I'm fairly certain this is not a live album, so I think what they would have done is set their click track to just increase over time. I did map this out. If you just kind of, when I did the video, I do all the acoustic videos to a click track, and so if you kind of keep your tempo increasing all the way through, you can follow it. But if you play this one to a click track, if you just set it at 63 and let it go, you'll end up slower than they do on the album. If you set it at 69, obviously you'll start a lot faster. Leave that one up to you as well. But it's a pretty slow song. The chords we're going to use are D, G, A, which you can play this way or this way. I kind of play it this way a lot. B minor, which I almost always play like this. Now we're going to get into some chords that you don't typically see in the key of D, and that's an E minor. It's not that uncommon. The E minor is the 2, the minor second. And the last chord in the song is, I would call it D over G. So you play a D chord, and then you take your middle finger and put it on the low E string, 3rd fret. You leave your high E open. It's kind of a different flavor of D. It has a G in the bass. So the strumming pattern on this song is, you kind of use a couple of them. You really want to keep it, because it's such a mellow song and it builds really slowly throughout the whole song. You don't want to strum really hard, really fast. So you could do something like this. I'm going to play just the solo progression that comes later in the song. So you might notice that's a fairly common down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when you get to the chorus, there's a pretty distinct pattern, and it goes, now, all I know is I know that you are here now. And that one goes down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 up, down. And you can throw a down up at the end of the measure. So down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Or you can leave it open. So those two patterns will get you through most of the song. Again, in the beginning, you'll want to leave some more space. Kind of as an example. Okay, so there are two sort of intro progressions to the song. The first one is that synthy, buildy kind of thing. I don't know how else to describe it than that. You can actually, if you wanted to, and if it were me, I might not play both of these intros. It's a fairly long intro before you actually get into something, but this is how it goes. It goes B minor, 2, 3, E minor, D over G, 2, 3, A, B minor, 2, 3, E minor, D, 2, 3, A. Then you play that again. You might notice that a lot of these have a chord for 3 beats and then one on the 4th beat and then another change. I'll play that again. B minor, E minor, D over G, A, B minor, E minor, D, A. And then you hit the second intro, which is similar, but a little different. B minor, A, D, B minor, A, G. Okay, so I'm going to play that intro for you. I'll play them both and show you how it goes, and we'll get into the verse. So starting with the first one, B minor, E minor, D over G, A, B minor, E minor, D, A, B minor, E minor, D over G, A, B minor, E minor, D, A, and then the second one, B minor, A, D, B minor, A, G. Skies spin their dance within your breath. Now we're in verse 1. Like I said, I am not quite certain what I did in my acoustic video. I probably just played that second intro and left it at that. If I were going to do this live, I would probably cut out that first intro. But anyway, let's get into the verse. It goes B minor, skies spin their dance with A in your breath is D. E minor, B minor, time runs its race with A in your hand is D over G. E minor, B minor, my mind runs wild to comprehend D. E minor, B minor, with no mind on earth could A understand G. So you might notice these progressions they're not like the same every time you play stuff. So this one's a little tricky to memorize and pull off. And it goes, I'll sing the verse for you. It goes like this. Skies spin their dance within your breath. Time runs its race within your hand. My mind runs wild to comprehend. But no mind on earth could understand. And we get into the pre-chorus, which goes like this. Your ways are higher, B minor, A, D. Your thoughts are wilder, E minor, B minor. Love came like madness, A, D. Poured out in blood, wash, E minor, romance, D over G. This makes no sense, but A. This is B minor, grace, to E minor. I know you're with me in this place. All right, I'll play it for you, show you how it goes. Your ways are higher, your thoughts are wilder. Love came like madness, poured out in blood-washed romance. This makes no sense, but this is grace. I know you're with me in this place. The first time through the song, you have an extra measure. There's 2 measures of A. Then you get into the chorus. This gets a little easier. G, here, now. A, all I know is I know that you are B minor, here, now. D, still my heart, let your voice be all I. G, here, now. A, spirit breathe like the wind, come have your B minor way. To D, 'cause I know you're in this place. And you get to a turnaround, which goes B, A, D. E minor, B minor, A, D over G. E minor, and then you're back into the verse. So what I'm gonna do is play the last line of the pre-chorus, because I know you're in this place, and hit the chorus and the turnaround section for you, and show you how it'll link you back to the verse. Okay? I know you're with me in this place. An extra measure the first time through. Here, now. All I know is I know that you are here now. Still my heart, let your voice be all I hear now. Spirit breathe like the wind, come have your way. 'Cause I know you're in this place. Here's the turn. E minor, B minor. That's a D over G to E minor. And then you're into verse 2, which is, I don't remember the words. Verse 2, faith makes a fool of what makes sense. That's a good line, by the way. So after verse 2, you go back to the pre-chorus, just like you did, and then the chorus. Remember, the second time through, you only hold that A at the end of the pre-chorus, 1 measure, not 2 measures. And then you go, after the second time through the chorus, you play another chorus, here now, and I'm happy to tell you that the rest of the song, once you hit the chorus the second time through, the progression stays exactly the same. G to A to B minor to D. And you just do that over and over and over again. So after the second chorus, there's actually 3 more choruses. So you hit chorus 3, 4, 5. Now the words in those choruses change, which is a really cool thing. I like what they did in this song. There's like the play on the word here. So it means here, H-E-R-E. You know, some of the times you sing it, and H-E-A-R. Some of the times you sing it. And it's really, I mean, it's clever, and it's good songwriting. So the words in those choruses change. You do play them 5 times. Then there is a 16-bar solo of G, A, B minor, D. And then there's an outro, G, and it's G, A, B minor to D. And that is it. That is the song. So there's really a lot of room to sort of use your imagination and play this however you would like to play it. You can stick to the way they do it on the album. Just in my experience, just playing this song on acoustic, if you do it like that, you need to be very dynamic, and it's hard to pull it off the way they do it on their album. So I would encourage you, don't really necessarily try and copy what Hillsong United did unless you have the tech to do it. Now, if you have the musicians and the synths and the software that you're going to need to pull that off, then go for it. But if not, try and strip it down a little bit. Maybe don't play that solo section for 16 bars. Maybe just end it after the last chorus if you'd like to do it that way. But that is the basic framework of the song. It is a little complicated up top, which is actually, in my opinion, somewhat refreshing. A lot of the worship songs we do are, 4 or 5 chords, and there's a verse progression, there's a chorus progression, there's a bridge progression, maybe there's a pre-chorus, and that's it. And that makes for a great song a lot of times. A lot of hit songs are like that. And it's a great formula, but it is nice to hear something that's a little different. It can be a little harder to pull off, especially if your musicians are used to the really kind of easy set framework in a song, or if you have musicians who are beginners, or I have said before at worship tutorials many times, I'm a huge advocate of getting rid of music stands and memorizing songs. This one is a lot more difficult to memorize just because the progressions aren't the same every time you hit one, and that you hit it goes to different chords at different times that you might not expect. But nevertheless, that is the song Here Now. Head over to Worship Tutorials where you can get chord charts for this song. I do have charts in what I call a Nashville format that shows you exactly how the song goes top to bottom, and exactly the progression. I have a lyric chart as well where I've tried to do that, where I'll say, repeat this section, and that kind of thing. And it has all the words for those different choruses that you play at the end. So you can get that. You get all of those charts in multiple keys with one purchase of the chord chart kit. And like I said, you can see how I played it on acoustic. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.